When the Irish Coast Guard spotted a ship drifting silently toward their shores, there wasn't a single soul aboard, but someone or something had left traces behind. The vessel, a ghostly silhouette against the stormy sky, creaked and groaned as if it had a story to tell, a secret it had carried across the entire Atlantic Ocean. But what really happened aboard the MV Alta before it became the world's most mysterious ghost ship? The story begins in 2018. The MV Alta, a humble merchant vessel, suddenly went silent. It vanished from all tracking systems, lost somewhere in the vast, unforgiving expanse of the ocean. Then, almost 2 years later, in February 2020, it reappeared, crashing aground on the rocky coast of Ireland. There was no crew, no lifeboats, just an eerie, deserted hulk. How could a 77-meter ship drift for over a year and a half, crossing one of the world's busiest oceans completely unnoticed? The official story is one of mechanical failure, but the whispers in the coastal towns tell a different tale, one of curses, phantom crews, and a ship with a will of its own. Let's rewind to the moment the Alta was last seen with a living crew. In October 2018, stranded southeast of Bermuda, the 10 crew members sent out a distress call. Their engines had failed, and they were adrift. The U.S. Coast Guard swooped in for a dramatic rescue, airlifting every last person to safety. The ship, however, was left behind, abandoned to the mercy of the sea. It was expected to sink, to be swallowed by the next big storm, but it didn't. Months later, a British Royal Navy vessel spotted it, floating aimlessly in the mid-Atlantic. More sightings followed, each one stranger than the last. Fishermen reported a chilling detail lights flickering on the empty decks, even though no one was there to turn them on. Imagine the scene when Irish authorities finally boarded the wreck. The air was thick with the smell of salt, rust, and decay. Ropes swung from the masts as if moved by an unseen hand. In the flooded corridors, they found something that sent a shiver down their spines. Fresh-looking footprints in the puddles, yet the decks were completely empty. When they entered the captain's quarters, they found the logbook lying open on a desk. The final, hastily scrawled entry read, "We're not alone anymore." What did the crew see in their final days? What made them abandon ship so suddenly? Of course, there are rational explanations. Mechanical failure, a powerful storm, a simple case of a ship being too costly to salvage. But these explanations don't account for the strange sightings or the chilling final log entry. Locals have their own theories, passed in hushed tones over pints in nearby pubs. Some say the ship was used in a dark sea ritual, and its journey was a cursed pilgrimage. Fishermen who pass the wreck at night swear they hear ghostly voices carried on the wind, and some even claim the ship moves on its own, shifting its position on the rocks despite being firmly aground. Today, the MV Alta is a skeletal ruin, slowly being torn apart by the relentless waves. It became a morbid tourist attraction for a while, but authorities have warned people to stay away, deeming it too dangerous. Yet the stories continue. Locals report hearing loud, rhythmic banging from the wreck at night, as if the ship is trying to break free, calling out to the sea. And sometimes, on the darkest nights, a faint light can still be seen flickering from the control room window, even though the ship has had no power for years. Perhaps the MV Alta isn't truly abandoned after all. Maybe it's just waiting for its next crew. Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by mysteries of the deep, make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow along for more strange tales from the sea.